Charlie, I just think honestly you're too stupid to understand them.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you you lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
What does that
You're
mean?
a fucking don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your mouth. It's
You could
because
go
I'm
for it.
better than you, Charlie.
No, it's because you're embarrassed and you know that the traditional values that you try to sell people on
Okay.
are bullshit because
Let's
you
go
are not
through
a
it.
traditional man.
I am a goddamn alpha male. Yes, I said it, alpha male. I don't care if you think that's toxic.
People look at me as soon as I walk in and they're like, who is this guy? I look like I'm going to hurt somebody.
You do not have to accept her rejection.
Hey, welcome everybody. We got another reaction video for you guys. Today, we're reacting to a video St. James sent to me. Death of the Red Pill. Red Pill movement is dying. Before we get into it, St. James, why did you send me this? Why do you want to react to this?
I think it's been a long time coming. As a guy who's a reformed misogynist, I thought it's time for us to tackle how people could fall into this and how you come out of it.
All right. I mean, I'm interested to see it too. I got a couple of hot takes about this. And yeah, it's gonna be an interesting video to watch. The video is from Ty's Corner. I'm gonna put his channel up here in a second, so you guys can go check it out on YouTube and subscribe. And without further ado, let's start it.
It's no secret that the Red Pill movement is pretty much in the grave at this point. And to be honest, I'm glad. YouTube needs to be cleansed 40 days and 40 nights of this madness. Between needing to make enough money to feed 10 families in the Philippines, needing to be void of all emotion, and needing to pack freezer meat the size of the Eiffel Tower, I don't know which way is up anymore. It's safe to say the Red Pill movement doesn't need any introduction. But if you don't know, it's about personal awakening and learning the truth about what life is outside of what's considered the Matrix. I'm sure a Red Pill connoisseur is punching the air and yelling at me about—
When was your first time hearing about Red Pill and all that?
I think my first time hearing about it was Jordan Peterson, maybe Andrew Tate. I'm not exactly sure. I want to say Jordan Peterson. I think that's one of the first time I heard it. I didn't hear it from him, but when you listen to him, that's usually the pipeline, if not just the part of it, to the Red Pill.
I guess that's kind of like gets you started.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, it sucks because when and now I don't agree with Jordan Peterson on anything, but when I first listened to him, he was very helpful. That's what sucks about all these like grifters and these like fake pseudo like self-help people. It's like Jordan Peterson telling me, hey, start by cleaning your room and get your life in order, or clean your house before you criticize other people. At the age of what had I be, Ali? 19, 20? That was like almost as powerful as the 10 Commandments. I was like, oh fuck. Yeah, let me clean my room. Let me clean myself. Let me get myself in order before I judge other people. Which I don't think is bad, but then it always leads to more of that. It's like the
It
escalation.
always starts reasonable. Always starts reasonable and like, yeah, I agree with this, and then snowballs into something crazier and crazier and crazier. Yeah.
And it's just like, you should clean your room too. Women aren't people. Like, oh shit, oh whoa. I thought I was just cleaning my room.
Makeup is evil.
Expect this. Yeah. But that's how it always happened. But yeah, I got it. That's where I think I started. That's at least where I was aware that I was starting to become a part of a cult. To be fair, I was never super into Red Pill ever. But
yeah,
I dabble with that.
Interested. You just like
I dabble with that philosophy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You?
I guess I was a little bit younger. I was like 18. And it was like on Reddit. And I read a couple posts on Reddit, and just a bunch of websites that used to kind of link to each other. So they would backlink each other. So you would go on one website, they would link to the other one. So you would just read one article here, another article there, another article posted on Reddit, and it was like a lot of self anecdotes and people saying this helped me. And when you're like 18, 19, you got nothing to do, and your life is kind of, if your life is crap, I mean, some people are 18, 19, their life is great. I mean, you guys got it going on, but when you're 18, 19, your life is not going that great. You
Oh yeah.
you need it. You'll
Which
use
is
anything.
which is why they isn't it. Which is why that's who they're always trying to sell this to. Is the people like 18, 19. You're confused. Your life is shit. You're poor. Women don't like you. And like I just want somebody to tell me like I deserve some type of love, and they're like, yeah, you deserve love as long as you hate women and you hate the system. The system
But
has
it's
a
crazy.
problem,
You
but
hate the system, but they give you another system to exist in, right?
ooh,
It gives you like
that's a
a
good one.
structure. They give you a structure and a belief system that you can abide by.
Yeah, for 10.99.
Oh, that's the cheap ones. Those are the discounted
That's a good
rates.
point.
Yeah,
That's a great
those.
point.
Yeah.
I remember did you ever buy one? The only one of those things I bought was I bought Ty Lopez. I think it was like 75 days, $75 for 75 days to change your life. And I bought it. And it's funny because I actually don't regret buying it. The whole point of his book, I mean, it was such a grift, but it was a good grift. All grifts aren't bad. But the whole grift was every day just read a book. Read a different book. Try to take something from it. Try to be around other people who are doing things. And I think at 19, 20, it was actually not bad advice. You know, just read a book.
Yeah, but not
Now,
everybody is a superhuman reader that can finish a book in a day.
yeah, exactly. He's also full of shit. He called finishing a book. He calls it. He reads the first chapter, the last chapter, and then he skims the middle if he wants to. Reading
That's
a book.
such a scam, bro. That's not a good advice.
Well, that's not. That's just how he like. I think that's how he like. He gets to like a book a day, which, yeah, right. I mean, it's misleading for sure. Here's the thing: most books, especially these days, are filler. So it's not completely wrong, but at the same time, it's misleading. But I read a whole book a day. Like, no, you don't, nigga. You read 2 chapters and
So
a
you
half.
shouldn't read them. Like, if the book is not that great, you shouldn't read it. You should just be more selective about the books you're reading. The quantity doesn't really correlate with the quality of the person you're gonna become when you read those crap books. You're just gonna become a person filled with crap. Anyways, but that's Ty Lopez. He's not even like super red pill or anything. He's
He's
his
not,
own grip.
and that's and he's his own grift, and that's the best version of it, right? Sorry, I dropped my headphones.
No, it's all right. No, I got you. All right, let's go back to our video.
About that explanation, but without all the extra fluff, that's pretty much what it is. Get over it. My first introduction to the Red Pill was VH1's The Pickup Artist, which was probably everyone's first introduction without them even realizing it. If you had your own TV and the only thing your parents were worried about you watching was HBO after 12 a.m. for obvious reasons, your only other choice is to get that same hit of dopamine were Girls Gone Wild commercials. VH1, MTV, BET, Uncut, and Tila Tequila on Howard Stern. Howard Stern was the first Adam 22, come to think of it. God, I need to get baptized again, bro. So anyway,
I'm glad I missed all that. When I moved to America, all of that was done.
Oh, you never know the struggle. You never know the struggle of trying to beat your meat to a 30-second commercial, praying to God your mom don't walk in. That 45 seconds of a censored titty was the highlight of 8-year-old St. James's dreams.
Oh my God.
Bro, I was in there, and to be fair, actually, I wasn't even beating my meat at the time. I was rock hard looking at it, like,
Yeah, you
like
just wanna
praying to God.
see if there's anything that happens. I've seen the commercials late at night and all that. But at the point where I would see the commercials, internet porn already existed. So it didn't really move the needle for me. I thought
That was a good 2 summer running for me. That's all I had was censored Girls Gone Wild commercials. And God, you know what? I was content. I was content with that one. Oh man, I miss some days because now corn is so aggressive these days. He also said something too that, yeah, here's something I didn't know. Ali, when I was younger, this has to be like high school, 16, 17, 16, I think. I watched YouTube. I watched these pickup artists. I didn't know that's Red Pill. I also didn't know, Ali, did you know all these pickup artists are fucking full of shit? They're all liars.
Yeah.
This somebody just put me on this recently. Like, yeah, I didn't know then. Like, I remember it was this African guy, heavy African accent. in America, probably Miami, going around picking up girls, be smooth and shit. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, if this nigga could do it, there's no way I can't do it. And like, oh my gosh, and like, and so like, remember like thinking like this was the way. And I just learned fairly recently, a lot of those guys were like paying like what we would now refer to them as OnlyFans girls, but back then just prostitutes and like influencers of that day, and just been paying them to like pretend to talk to them and then sell it to like young man like me. Like I didn't even know those guys were like faking it the whole
The
time.
upside is just so much that they, it's so cheap to produce that content, and you make 10x your money back. So why wouldn't you?
Especially if you're faking it, right? Because like in
Yeah.
my mind, I'm like, man, they're going out. I'm watching this African guy. I gotta find out who his name was, and he's just like pulling these dumb baddies out of nothing. I'm like, fuck, maybe he just really has the swagger. And now I'm like, oh, he was paying them $10.99.
Did you ever watch the VH1 show he's talking about? Pickup artists. I think I've seen some clips, but it just it's structured like one of those reality shows. But he's right. It is like a gateway to the red pill beliefs and the way of life and all that. So it's so weird. It's like the genesis. It's the very genesis.
It's
of,
very interesting.
Yeah.
Especially what makes me sad about this, Ali, and tell me what you think, is like I said, like a lot of them were paying like escorts and prostitutes to talk to him on camera, and then they selling it to a little man, which means none of this is real, which means these people also know it's a grift. They know it's fake. And they're selling this to young men for what? Just for the money? Like,
and they'll
this is what makes
swear
me so
by
sad.
it. They'll swear by it.
And
that it's
swear
real.
by it, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all making up and they're just full of crap.
Because the upside,
I mean-
man, the upside, the profits are so, like, they have to. You have to swear by it because on the back end you'll make X amount of money if you double down. Versus you be like wishy-washy about it. Oh, well, but if you double down and be stern about it, then you'll know at least out of 10 people that are watching, 2 are gonna buy in hard. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, let's keep going.
The pickup artist. The pickup artist was my first introduction to Red Pill content, being a middle schooler. The purpose of the show was to help men find success in cold approaching women. Harmless in the grand scheme of things. Fast forward to more current times, the Red Pill looks very, very different. In the worst way possible. It went from peacocking, building your confidence, and at least having to actually approach women in person, to men providing sound advice to other men about improving themselves, to whatever the hell this is.
Guys who know me know I've talked about penis pumps for a while. So I'm here on YouTube, guys. This is not even FitX Talk. I'm going to tell you guys the truth about penis pumps. It's creating a vacuum that pumps blood through negative pressure to your junk. Let's not get complicated. That's all penis pumps do. Do penis pumps work? Yes and no.
How many inches does my junk need to be considered a man?
Minimum 7 inches, bro. Every single man.
Why is another man dictating how long your dick's gotta be?
That's what he wants. That's because that's what he wants in his butthole. That's what it is. This is what's so crazy about this. You're not a man until your penis is as big as I want it to be. You're not a man until your penis makes me happy. I need your penis to really turn my penis. I'm like, what are we doing here? And what also bugs me is he's on fucking all these men also on the fucking all this gear. His penis probably doesn't even work.
That's why he's gonna pump it.
It's so frustrating. And what sucks is I remember being a young man and falling for this stuff. Like it's just like, oh, I remember being like, I had to be like 13, 14, beginning of high school, seeing stuff like this, like, oh, my penis that hasn't even finished fucking growing yet, it's too small and women are never gonna love me. I remember my uncle telling me, he's like, dude, shut up. Like, the women don't care. If anything, now I'm gonna say how toxic my uncle is. He goes, if anything, they want it smaller. If it's too big, because if it's too big, their boyfriend will find out and they don't want to get caught. And at this point, it's so true. And this is how much of a play he is. I'm trying to get one girl. He's telling me how to get around other girls have a boyfriend. I'm not even that far in the game.
Yeah. I don't have that problem yet, you know?
No, that's so fucking lame. You can keep going.
Okay.
Man can get his wee to 7 inches. If you're 5 inches, bro, you better start working on that shit today. Because the thing about women is they will tolerate it, but they prefer better. Women don't want to hurt your feelings.
Here's what I wanted to say. I forgot a second ago. By the time a woman sees your penis, that I feel like you're already in it. You're already in the game. You're already like advanced on further levels. So the likelihood of you getting rejected by the size of your penis is very, very small. As if she sees your penis, she's in it, you know?
I
So
agree.
why do you even care at that point?
I agree. And I'll take it one step further, Ali. Most women actually, and I made a joke earlier, but it's the truth. Most women aren't size queens. It's a meme, just like this is a fucking meme. Most women, I don't know the number, I'm not going to give a number, but they don't need it to be 9 inches. It doesn't feel good for them. I know that's the running joke as a man, like, she's like, no, the big ones hurt. But ironically enough, the big ones do hurt. They don't like that. But it's no money into saying that. I had a girl I was talking to a while ago, a long time ago, and she told me this. This is so funny. But I asked her this. I was like, you know, I was like, honestly, like, what do you think? She goes, one of the hardest times I've ever climaxed came from a man who had a micro penis.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really crazy.
He had
but
game,
also,
though. He had game. He had moves.
Yeah, he probably knew how to use it, or he probably knew how to do other things. It's just like it's more than one way to skin a cat, and the main thing to know is size isn't the only way to get there. And a lot of women will tell you, we should maybe do this again, Ali, with a lady co-host, will tell you most men who are hung don't know what to do with it because they rely too much on being hung. That's not really what makes it. And the old saying, it's not the size of the boat, it's the motion of the ocean, and it's always been that.
All right, that makes sense. Let's keep going.
They don't want to tell you, yo, baby, I can barely feel when you're inside it. It don't have to be 12 inches, but you can be at least 7 and above. And you want your girl coming back for more. You want to be hitting that spot every time.
You better have a bad bitch. You better be ripped. You better fucking be rolling some sick shit. That's what I like. I grew up hustling. There has to be rims on my goddamn Phantom.
Let's take you, for example, and
this guy.
we both pull up and we go to your girl. Odds are I'm going to take that. If you compared me to you, you're not going to win that battle. So the next time you think that your girl's on lock, I got the keys to the castle, mother.
Penis pumps.
I was waiting.
A far cry from what it was.
Pause it, Ali. Real quick, pause it. First of all, it was so much that just happened. One, did that nigga say I'm a hussy? Did he mean I'm a hustler? First of all,
I think yeah, he just misspoke. That's Wes Watson. He was in jail he was in prison for a long time. Then came out, and because he was jacked and talking all the shit he could, he was getting on these podcasts and kind of selling a lifestyle that he was a playboy alpha male guy.
Yeah, I bet he was. I bet he was a playboy in prison too. I bet he was really out here.
You know what happened to him after all the influencer fame and all that? So it came out that he was living with his OnlyFans girlfriend, that she was paying the rent and everything, and then she just kicked him out.
Yeah, that's what sucks about all this shit. It always leads to one way with these men. But nobody wants to talk about it. It leads to one way. It leads to their lives not being as good and fulfilling as it can be.
It's always the ones that are so hard and they portray themselves so in that direction that the reality is like totally the opposite.
Completely agree.
To be honest, it's the biggest display of insecurity I've ever seen on or off the fucking internet. It seems as if it's focused on being as intimidating as possible, having the baddest arm candy money could buy, and just being this mythical Herculean alpha male. The concept of being an alpha male is not even a real thing in the first place. It was popularized by David Metch, who co-opted the term from Swiss wolf expert and ethologist Rudolf Schenkel, who first introduced the term in 1947. And since then, David Metch himself has debunked this concept.
The term alpha isn't really accurate when describing most of the leaders of wolf packs because the term implies that the wolves fought and competed strongly to get to the top of the pack. In actuality, the way they get there is merely by mating with a member of the opposite sex, producing a bunch of offspring, which are the rest of the pack then, and becoming the natural leaders that way, just like with a pair of humans producing a family.
So basically having a family and be the father figure.
Yeah, it makes sense. Being a good person, having a wife, girlfriend, taking good care of her, having kids, being in their lives, treating them well, and they respect
guiding them, providing them, make sure they're safe and all that.
You know what I'm saying?
So stupid. And then now it's
just
got
be-
changed it to this freaking definition.
I'm the toughest man in the bar. me man, me big, me strong,
I got you.
me alpha.
Let's go.
There's phases of this red pill journey that men go through. You have your vulnerability phase, where you are binging the content and fully immersing yourself in everything that is red pill. The radicalization phase, where you're now obsessed with the content, and more often than not, it's manifesting through your actions, the way you talk, or like this.
Why is it okay for women to say, oh, you're 5 feet on dating sites? You should be dead. That's okay?
Who said that to you here? Nobody.
Women in general have said it on dating sites. You think I'm making that up? Everywhere I go, I get the same smirk with the biting lip.
Y'all like bodybuilders?
Bodybuilders?
Yeah.
I like skinny, scrawny guys.
How about multimillionaires? How about ages and thick? How about talented? How about loving and respectful? And I'm gonna...
How about 8 inches and thick, and then 2 words later? How about loving and respectful? Like, dog, it's not congruent, my friend.
Hey, when he tried to pivot, you see him trying to pivot, right? He's like, what about a good quality guy who will respect you and love you forever?
8 inches didn't do it. Multi-millionaire didn't do it. What about a loving, nice guy?
What about God-fearing, respectful, doesn't cheat, doesn't do drugs? He just pivots, comes home on time. What about that? That's so funny. What about a guy who washes the dishes and rubs your feet?
Huh? Does that work?
6-minute mile. My testimony.
6-minute mile. Why, he just had to drop that in there too.
I'm up here and I ask you if you want to be in the YouTube channel. And you like scrawny.
And the last phase of the red pill journey is the individual deciding to leave the red pill, reevaluating everything they previously learned. The problem is, some men don't make it to this phase and they end up being stuck and obsessed with the content they consume. Or, if you're a content creator and you've built your following around phase 2, it's not easy to transition your content. And more often than not, it's too late, because a lot of these content creators in this space have damaged their reputation beyond repair. So if you're following along here, they enter in phase 1, transition to phase 2, fuck up their reputation, they know their reputation is fucked, so now the only thing they have left to do is grift and sell you a course about how to be an alpha male, which prevents them from entering phase 3. Because once phase 3 starts, the following might leave, the views might drop, and now you're putting fries in the bag, which, according to alpha male and red pill ideology, is not so alpha. So unless you rebrand yourself, you're now stuck in this cycle of cosplaying Vince McMahon. There's a lot of reasons why this content is popular in the first place. Men not having success in the dating market, men not feeling respected by women, a lack of a mentor in their life, or just difficulty navigating who they think they need to be as a man.
I think this guy is kind of bringing up a good point here. When you have those symptoms and those issues, there's always a need for a treatment. There's always a need for guidance. There's always a need to find your way. There's always a need for other people to kind of guide you and all that. So if it's not red pill, or if the red pill is not working right now or it's on the downtrend, I don't think it's just going to go away forever. I think it's just going to come back disguised as something else. Or it's just going to come back the same way, just stronger, with somebody who's even more unapologetic, We saw it with Andrew Tate. And he was the most unapologetic, never wavered, doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down. And he gets rewarded by the system just for existing for that long. Just for holding on for that long, he gets to keep the following. He gets to make the money. He gets to have the reputation and all that. So unless you address these problems and these symptoms at their core, it'll always go back. I don't. I think it's just this wave of. We're looking at it in a very micro sense right now, but if you look at it in a zoomed out point of view, there's always going to be a new batch of content creators that all collab and backlink to each other. That's going to pop up. So we're on a downtrend right now, but who's to say a year or two from now there's not another uptrend?
Yeah, I completely agree. As long as there's money to be made off of people's insecurities, people will make content like this. Completely agree. And this is what sucks about this with this two-party system that all bought by the same people and the same donors. And even with that being said, I don't think they are the same. But we don't have to get into that right now. But it is this thing like until we start addressing some people's material needs and try to put money into these like the fact that we can't say just put some money into these young men's pockets. It don't have to be directly, but just raise the minimum wage. Just try to bring some back to factory jobs. Just try to make it where it's like, hey, if these CEOs are gonna get paid 300 times their average person pay, they got to at least increase the amount of people they're hiring. Like you got like just do a better job. Like man, because nobody. And I was making this point to a lady I used to talk to. Like this thing, like we shame incels. It's like, dude, who wants to be an incel? Just think about the concept. Nobody wants, no
It's
man wants to not
involuntary.
get laid. Yeah, exactly. Involuntary celibate. Like no man wants to not get laid. Usually when you get to this point, it's because things aren't working your way. So just try to help these people who can't help themselves. But you're right. Until we start having these real conversations about how do we help these men, it's going to keep happening. And this is my thing. I I do like to advocate for young men, and I'm a young man apologist. I do acknowledge that they have their problems. I don't think incels are inherently good. I think they are problematic for sure. But with that being said, until we as a society, i.e., sometimes ladies, have more empathy for the opposite sex, we don't keep butting heads. Like we gotta have empathy. Like people, nobody wants to be doing bad. Nobody wants to live a life without love or poverty. Nobody wants to feel less than them. So we need to try to help these. But you're right. Until that's a real conversation that's had, this is gonna be a loop over and over and over again.
And it's not just it's not just economical to me. A part of it is cultural. Being educated is uncool. Reading is uncool. Knowing about history is uncool. Knowing anything in a deeper level is uncool. And all of these kind of stack up on top of each other so that you'll have young people who don't care about anything other than whatever they're feeling at the moment, right then and there, instead of building something, learning something on a deeper level, and actually putting in the time for 100 days learning something. They rather just do something for a couple days and see what comes of it versus actually working towards something for a year, 2, 3. But you never know. You never know. Maybe things will shift and go in a different direction sooner rather than later.
And I want to add to your point. As long as the end game for everybody is also get rich and date a supermodel and stunt on everybody, that's also a problem. Like the one thing I like that we have, even like making this content, like we're making this content to grow and we want to be able to feed our family from this one day. But at the same time, I also just enjoy making stuff with you, bro.
Yeah.
Like it also edifies my soul to work with you. And then the benefits that come from working also makes my life better. But once we got to move the goalpost from you're working to make money to you're working to be happy, and money is a byproduct of happiness. Now, some of that's a little like fairy tale dust because we live in a society that's hard to live in right now. But you get my point. Like until we move the goalpost,
We
to,
would have this
what fulfills
conversation
you.
without the cameras. You would send me this video, I would watch it. We would have this conversation over the phone, and it will be a little less formal and a little less made up and all that, but it would still happen in some shape or form. And we just trying to make it more consumable for other people who are watching. But at the end of the day, yeah, it will be just me and you talking about this same conversation, same topics and all that. Okay, let's go.
For some men, it's just simple as they're just scared of rejection, or they've internalized how other men have been rejected.
This actually was a good point. I watched this video when you sent it to me. Internalizing other people's rejection. And I think that's he actually nailing something here, because you do read about other people's rejection. You do read about other people cheating on other people. And I think social media is horrible for that because you just get bombarded with all those. And as you're reading and watching those videos, you get recommended more and more and more. And your algorithm kind of builds around that. So as soon as you log in, you'll see like texts about cheating and videos about this guy cheating on his lady and this lady cheating on his boyfriend and all that. And it kind of builds up and again stacks on top of each other so that you'll internalize that and all women are the same, or uh things of that nature, or the rejection, the bad text that people shooting their shot and getting rejected, or people shooting or somebody talking to a woman and they're talking about their boyfriend in a bad way, or just anything like that that makes you go, damn, that could be me, that.
Easily.
Yeah.
I remember having this conversation with my cousin not too long ago, and he was telling me, and he's having some dating problems, and he was talking about like all these things that he was reading, and like how he was telling me like how all this is true, and I was like, "Cuz, do you relate to this?" He goes, "Yeah, man, yeah, like this is what's happening." I'm like, "I mean, you never told me about any of this happening to you." He's like, "Well, it hasn't happened to me, but this is what's happening out there." I'm like, "But what about your personal life?" He goes, "Yeah, but yeah, but he's like, but it's like, but it's cool. It might happen to me." I'm like, "But it hasn't happened to you. And if anything, your life is the exact opposite of what you think is happening. You're identifying with these people who are feeding off your insecurities, and you're not even realizing what your life is, and your life is telling you the opposite." Because the context was happening, he was talking about like dating black women and stuff. I'm like, you don't relate to this. You have nothing but good experience with black women, and your family's all black women. Like most of the women, people you love are black women, and they're all nice and sweet to you. What are you getting? Where are you getting this? Where are you getting this conclusion from? Except somebody else told you it happened to them, and they might be lying about
Right. And your perception becomes reality, and
it.
you kind of keep going in that direction where you just believe it. And as you believe in it and it's self-affirming and reaffirming to yourself, yeah, you're gonna see those more often. You're gonna point those out to yourselves. And it's just like driving. You get a new car, you're driving it, and on the road, all you see is the same make and model and color of the car you bought. Because it's the same thing. Yeah. All right, let's go.
I am married now, but I thank God there was no cameras when I was shooting my shots, bro.
That's a
because
crazy
I
video right there.
air ball. But that leads
That's
them to
crazy.
say things like, "A woman will never love you for you," or "the average man doesn't have a chance," which I don't agree with, because you can go to any mall, shopping outlet, inexpensive dinner spot, park, whatever, and see happy couples there, walking, holding hands, having a great time. So I chalk that up to certain men just being chronically online. And I'm specifically focused on some of the Red Pill's views on women here, because a lot of the content is created with the end goal in mind of helping a man get the woman he desires. And that's what it comes down to. Cheeks. Just cheeks. And it does this by putting men on a path to be high value. And on top of that, unfortunately, a lot of men tie their self-worth to the quality of woman that they could attract, or lack thereof. They can have a great career, a support system, etc., and still feel worthless or lonely because they lack an intimate connection with a woman. How things are today with social media constantly telling you you're not working hard enough, you're not making enough money to support some unrealistic lifestyle, you don't look good enough, it's pretty easy to understand why a lot of men and women are mentally checked out. This depression for men sometimes evolves into an us versus them mentality. Hating women without realizing they hate women, being abusive, saying all women are hoes, or for some of us, throwing dick around everywhere. Dating apps like Tinder, Hinge, and Bumble, which are all primarily made up of men, have made it easy to window shop dating options and just swipe into the void. Corn is super accessible now, with Twitter and Instagram being the main facilitators. Just pick your favorite female influencer and there's a 50% chance there's an OnlyFans link in her bio, or she's been to Dubai. Before I got off of Twitter, I would have to hide my phone in public when I was scrolling just in case anything popped up. But this leads to men being addicted to corn, having their perception of women altered dramatically, and in men under the age of 40 and as young as 20 suffering from ED. What I'm getting at here is having too many decisions at your disposal can lead to decision fatigue. And as humans, we're naturally wired to go toward the path of least resistance. And this is part of the reason why things have gotten so bad and why the red pill has been pushed to the forefront, or was pushed to the forefront at this point. And in my opinion, it's created this open gender war between both sides, with some women saying, men ain't shit. Men need to be providers. My money is my money and his money is our money. To men saying, women need to be more traditional. Women need to quit begging.
I think a part of that is just amplified outliers. Obviously you get more clicks if you more outrageous on both sides, and we can't see that. And every time I try to explain it to anybody, they just like, oh yeah, I know, but they still believe whatever is the most popular thing on their feed or whatever comes up on their feed because it's been boosted up by the comments and the likes and the shares and all that. But that's not reality. That's not your reality that you live in. You just see it on your phone and it becomes your reality because you just see that in the phone. But in the actual physical reality, it's just not there.
Exactly. I also want to say when he said it all comes back to cheeks. I think you laughed and I laughed because it's like in a weird way it's true, which is why I think a lot of the problems we are still having is like, man, we just still don't have a great relationship with sex in this country at all, and it's getting exacerbated with this like all these men, a lot of these young men just want to get laid, and they can't get laid, so then they get mad, and then they're like, women are whores if they have sex with anybody. And it's like, dude,
Yeah.
and it's like, dude, you're playing the game backwards. You should be more open-minded to them doing what they want to do,
That's what I'm
and
saying.
forgive them. Forgive might not be the right word, Ali, but be more open-minded to them living a fun life in that matter, and that will come back around. And they should be able to be open-minded to like, okay, maybe you have some flaws, but I'll overlook your flaws and you overlook my flaws. And I'm not trying to say sex is a flaw, but I don't have the right vocabulary. But you get my point. Like, we all are open-minded to each other and we respect each other and we're all just trying to have a good time. So then if she's having a good time, then that means I can have a good time. If I'm having a good time, she can have a good time. But there's all this concept of like, I can't get laid, so that means any woman that has sex with anybody, she
If
deserves
her
to
body
burn in
count is
hell.
like more than 2, she's a whore. But if you really think about it, that still that goes back to what I'm talking about, where let's just say you are open-minded and you don't care about body count. Chances are most of the women you meet, their body count is like 5, 6, 7, 8. The ones that are like 100, the ones that are like 30 plus, 40 plus are outliers. They're the ones that have like the extreme amount of fun. They're the ones that are like that want to go that way. Most of them, they be chilling because I think he's gonna talk about it in a little bit. Where it's like, oh, actually no, there's a clip that's coming up in this video where just having sex with too many people is it's just bad for you. It's mentally ruins you because you're not able to form deeper connections. You just jump straight to something that's super intimate and super sacred. Sacred might not be the word that everybody uses, but it's super intimate, and it's something that people who really know each other should do. But you do it with someone you just met, and you repeat it with like another person you just met, and another person you just met, and it will just ruin.
Ali, you can just say my name, bro. You can just call me out by name, bro.
Hey,
I'm
if the
kidding.
shoe fits,
I'm kidding.
wear it, brother. That's what I'm saying. I didn't mention anything about you. But yeah, we gotta get to that. But back to what I was saying is, if you're just more open-minded and you don't shun people for having sex with like anybody else, and you'll number one, you'll get laid more, and you'll be just a more chill person who is more accepting. And also, again, chances are you'll not meet women that are sleeping with 100 people and all that. Those are always the outliers, and you just be a normal person who's chill. All right. back to the video.
Need to cook, clean, slop, top, drop, open up shop. You get the idea. Some men said, fuck it, I'ma just go overseas. Which, that's just sex tourism, and that's a topic for another day. This combination of things has created this extreme gamification of dating, and it's made way for red pill or red pill adjacent content creators to make a living off of giving men bad advice.
How to get yourself out of a drought.
This kid, I'm gonna be honest, this is a bad clip he picked. This kid is 100% like a parody satire. I've watched his videos. He is so crazy, and the stuff he's talking about is so out there. It's unbelievable. And this, either he picked it because it's like a really good satire, or Ty just didn't know this kid does satire, because all his videos are fucking crazy like this. So this example in particular is just a bad example, because I fucking love this kid. He's so funny. He is hilarious, dude.
If you're super down bad, this is the
Very
last
last
resort.
option if you're
So
down
you're gonna want
bad.
to search for the registered offenders that's near you. I know it sounds crazy, but you're gonna keep searching until you find the girl that you want. I will block out her face, but she's an offender, so I don't really care. But after you find who you want, you want to search them up on Facebook. Do not.
Bro, like, come on. That's satire, bro. There's no, I don't believe this kid. He's a kid. He knows what he's doing. That kid is specifically, he knows what he's doing. I love his videos. He's so funny.
Be vulnerable with women.
But you've never been in love.
Women are not built to handle masculine problems. Being vulnerable with a woman is some of the worst advice that modern day women give to men, because if I sit there and I cry to you, oh my God, my life is hard, blah, 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 you might sit there and console me for a bit, but deep down you're like, you fucking bitch.
A woman's biggest weakness. The key thing in any man to woman relationship is to keep her chasing for your validation. And the honest truth is, it takes a certain level of game to keep her interest level high in you. And the best way to do this is through uncertainty. Uncertainty is a woman's weak spot. It's pretty much the opposite of validation.
So when you quit
I feel like when you use game and that is your crutch, and I'm not speaking from some experience. I've been there, done that, not successfully most of the time. But when you use that type of system and skill set, what ends up happening is you have to keep up the game. You can't never be yourself. You always have to have a response ready in the pocket for whatever situation might come up. And you either have to make up a response based on a rule set that you have, or you have a list of responses to situations that pop up that you have to do. And if a situation is not in that list, you're screwed and you're exposed. And that's kind of what happens to a lot of people who do game and who do keep up this game of, I gotta manipulate her, psychologically, and I gotta keep up appearances this way, and I gotta present myself in a different way to the public and all that. You'll just end up not being yourself and be this manufactured version of yourself that has to be meticulously tinkered and meticulously adjusted just so that you can perform and be social in the most optimal level and get laid that way.
Completely agree. And when you think like that, you attract those type of people. Because to your point, if you're just being honest all the time, you're being yourself, yeah, you might lose a couple. You're gonna lose a couple playing the games.
You will.
Too.
There's no might. You
But
will lose a couple.
exactly. You'll lose some, but the ones who stay are the ones that are meant to stay, and then you can be yourself with them. And that's what people don't think about, because that's not what they don't tell you that. They're trying to make you feel like you can't be yourself. You can be yourself. And what's funny now is that this is the real game, Ali. Men who are in touch with their emotions are what really ladies are looking for. The pendulum is swung. Like being this quote unquote alpha male for the sake of being alpha, that's them days are dead. That doesn't turn women on. Being able to say, you know what, I'm a little sad today because I'm actually sad, but I'm gonna deal with it in a healthy way. Oh, like I miss my boys. I want to hang out with my homies. I'm gonna go spend time with my homie because that's what is attractive to a lady. Like, oh, I'm happy. I'm gonna go. I'm happy because this thing happened to me. I'm gonna celebrate it. Like having emotions is what really is gonna attract the opposite sex, and it's just good for you. We're not meant to hold these. Bill Burr has a great joke. He goes. It's this new special you probably seen, Ali. Like holding, like when you hold the jokes, when you hold the sadness in, it comes out at some point, which is why no woman has ever dropped dead because they let the emotions out. That's why
That's
it's a great joke. He's like, he goes, that's why like a man at 65 is just like walking down the street, just, and then croaks because that's him never crying from that pain that hit him 20 years ago. But it's a lot of truth in that joke. It's just a lot of it in there. So yeah, I agree with you. Like
and
if
back
you're
to
just
your point, I just wanted to say this. Yeah, pendulum swung that way, right? But I think I want to point out that at the end of the day, all you need is a balance, right? You can't be the hard alpha guy all the time, and you can't be the emotional guy all the time. Yeah, if you're an emotional guy all the time, like Myron Gaines was saying, yeah, of course, at some point, everybody's gonna get sick of it. If a homie calls me every day and he's crying about something, on the
that's a
fifth
good
day, I'd
point.
be like, bro, step out of it, man up. But that is because you've been
It's a
crying
great
for
point.
4 other days. So either something's wrong with you mentally, or there's definitely like that's a really major cry for help. So that we gotta really address that issue. But at the same time, so it's that oh, I'm gonna take this kernel of truth where yeah, women don't like a guy who's emotional, but they don't like a guy who's like extremely emotional and is uncontrollable
All the
and
time.
off
All the time.
balance. Yeah.
Mhm.
And you present it as oh, they want a guy that's like has no emotion and is stoic and is a serial killer type of vibe over there, but it's not, that's not the truth. I feel like you want to be normal, but it's hard to find normalcy when you just see extremes in your feed and your algorithm and all that. Gotcha.
Aging and you make it to phase 3, what does that look like?
I've watched almost
This is the video
every
I was
single
talking
podcast you ever did for about a year and a half. So much so that I bought into a lot of the things that you said. And for about 2 years, it led me astray and significantly damaged my personal life, including relationships.
How did it lead you astray?
Well, you told me to go sleep with a bunch of women and date multiple women at the same time, which I did, and it significantly damaged my life. And it wasn't until I actually turned around and started listening to Jesus Christ that I was saved. Now I'm happily married. I have one child now with another one on the way, and I've never felt happier.
Even sneak.
The Jesus Christ part, debatable. We can talk about that, and I got my own opinions on that. But he is right. If when you're dating multiple people and sleeping with multiple women at the same time, it just ruins your own life. But people don't understand that because it feels like winning. You feel like this guy, but at the same time, you're not getting closer to any of them. You have to keep up a game. You have to keep up appearances. You're losing way more money than you would just dating a person, and you're not building anything. What you're building is a reputation for being a whore. So yeah, that was the video I was talking about.
Yep, I completely agree. And yeah, keep playing. I'm with
Nico
you.
has made it to phase 3, and regardless of how you feel about him, he's right here. He's absolutely right.
Ultimately, the biggest mistake being part of the Red Pill manosphere wasn't really the ideology. The biggest mistake were being around people who are full of shit. It felt like somebody first walking into New York City, oh my God, the big city, huh? Get hit by a car, get robbed or mugged. Oh, I'm so drunk and I was the clueless guy. Hey, la la la, la. I was wearing a crop top and short shorts in the subway at 2 a.m. Hey, boys. If I were to ever do an apology video, it would be for being associated with these leeches. You don't need to follow this. Red Pill is dead. Follow God.
So with that, I ask, is
Sneeko is an opportunist. I wouldn't use him
I
as an
agree.
example for anything.
And I agree. And the problem I had is he didn't say red pill. He started off by saying that red pill ideology isn't the problem. It is the problem, which means that he doesn't disagree with it. He just disagrees with the people who push it are leeches. Why do you think the people who push it are leeches? Because the ideology is also a fucking suck on your soul. The ideology is a leech. So even in that, like, I agree with you. Him using this video is a little weird because like that didn't make me. That just made me trust the people who push it less, and then also what they're pushing less. Like he didn't. Like not. I was like, oh, the problem isn't this bad thing that they're pushing. It's the fact that everybody who's pushing is bad. Well, maybe because that's also bad.
Right. And yeah, Sneeko will say anything that will get him clicks and views and all that. He doesn't stand on any sort of anything. He's got his belief system is whatever gets him paid and whatever gets him famous and popular that day. So that is one thing. And the other thing is you're right. It's just he denounces the people, and that goes back to what we're talking about. Where this new group of people that popped up, Fresh and Fit, Wes Watson, whatever podcast, whatever, anybody else in that group, they're on the downtrend. But who's to say next year we won't have like the craziest motherfucker pop up that'll just set the social media aflame again? So you got to be very careful with that. And you can't. That's why I have an issue with the title of the video, where it's like Redpill movement is dead. It's on a downtrend. It's not really that cool right now, and the people who are involved in talking about it are looked at a negative light right now. But who's to say a couple years from now this won't come back up again? Let's go.
Is the red pill actually helping, or is it playing on men's insecurities? For the most part, I think that shit is cooked, man. I think it's become about playing on men's insecurities for a bag and not really caring about whether they succeed or not. Because if they do succeed, why would they need your content anymore? They got the woman of their dreams, they got the house, they got the car, they got the money. They won, they have the cure. Most of these red pillars don't even live by the words that they preach. For example, telling your audience not to date single moms while at the same time dating a single mom. Dunking on gold diggers and OnlyFans models while at the...
This was crazy when I first saw it. And Myron Gaines being on Seeking Arrangement when he's talking shit about other people, other gold diggers. It's so crazy. Dude. You want me to go back?
No, I didn't read it the first time.
Yeah, it's just that Myron Gaines' profile on Seeking Arrangement, which is like a sugar daddy website. Let's go.
Same time, using your influence as a creator to try and sleep with them. Teaching men how to be in relationships with women, while at the same time, not having been in a relationship until your mid-30s.
This is why I never bought... I was so... I couldn't believe these guys becoming famous because they had no track record. They had no experience. They had no list of credentials, and they were just saying the most popular things that would just get clicks for it, and they would just have women on and disrespect them, and we just get clicks for it. That was one thing that would piss me off about this podcast, where the substance wasn't even there, so that at least somebody would get something out of it,
Yep.
They couldn't game their way out of a paper bag.
Oh, do you want to say something?
They tell men to be stoic and level-headed while at the same time being emotional about every fucking thing and kicking women off your podcast the second they say something you don't like. Telling men you want to help them, but then charging them thousands of dollars for a alpha male boot camp.
You don't fucking deserve to be here. Fucking quit. You piece of shit. I want to be a better man. I want to be a better husband. I want to be a better father. I want to be a better, you fucking whiny piece of shit.
I can go on and on about why this shit is trash. I think a lot of this content indirectly or actually directly leads to men relegating women to only being sex objects, something to be conquered, or to just start despising women. Or rather, women in the West. There's 169 million women in the United States of America. 169 million women, and you're telling me you can't find one, not two, not three, not four, but one woman that likes you. Not one. Sounds like a skill issue, bro. Sounds like you're stuck in elo hell. Switching servers is not gonna make you better at the game. There are a few Red Pill adjacent content creators that aren't complete douchebags, but they're far and few in between. The bottom line is, content creators stuck in phase 2 and Red Pill raging to their audience are all trapped in an echo chamber. It reminds me of when Itachi put Kabuto in the Izanami and he was stuck there and had to literally play out the same circumstance until he just figured his fucking life out. They're trapped and they need to figure themselves out internally. And just to clarify, there is nothing wrong with men's improvement content, but all that other shit is not helping men at all. It's the Izanami. They're trapped. Probably forever. In my opinion, the best way to navigate into or within a relationship is to talk to people who have been in long-term marriages. I've gotten a lot of great advice from people who've been married for years and even people who've been divorced. You can learn a lot of good things about how to not mess up a relationship talking to them. Sometimes. Find a mentor at church. Talk to your grandparents if they're still with you and if they have the relationship that you desire to have in the future. Go to therapy.
What do you think about that? Talk to other people who've been in long-term relationships and kind of seek their guidance.
I think it's I don't think it's awful advice. The thing is, like, when I think about my grandmas, and they've given me decent advice, but the problem is they also came up in a time where they wasn't allowed to have credit cards. You know, what did they go to? They couldn't leave. They could have my grandmas are black, so they credit cards, jobs. You know, they didn't have too many options, and times have changed. But I think that's better than listening to people online. So,
right.
Yeah, I think I would say this. I've learned a lot from people who have been through divorces. Ironically enough, it is something about if you're having an honest conversation and about somebody going through something and seeing what they did wrong and things they overlooked to get to that place, you do learn a lot from them. And you
True.
learn a lot from people who've been through a divorce because they can tell you exactly all the stuff they did wrong and more importantly, all the stuff they overlooked to get to the place that they are. And that's because it's another epidemic when I talk about it. There's a lot of people in relationships that they don't even like because they just want to be in relationships because they're afraid to be single again.
True.
And that can get you in a bad place as well.
No, I agree with you. I think you don't need to ask advice of anybody that's been in a long-term relationship, but you should have, hopefully you do have a close group of people that you do value their advice. It doesn't need to be everybody, but at least one or two people that you do value their advice, and they are in good relationships, healthy relationships. There's some people you admire to be. I keep telling my other friends this, where you want your group of friends to be everybody that's better than you and you look up to, so that you can drag yourself up and be on their level, versus, if you're the one that's constantly giving advice and helping your friends, they're dragging you down.
Exactly.
All right, let's go.
I've personally found a lot of success in doing that. Go to couples therapy if you're in a relationship. At least try all of that before trading your dignity and self-respect to listen to one of these alpha male weirdos. So yeah, the red pill's on life support, if not dead already, it's falling apart. It's been falling apart for years, man. And it's become a way for grifters, men and women, to propel themselves financially. In a nutshell, it's heroin. Very easy to consume, addictive, entertaining, but you definitely do not need that shit. Keep in mind, for the vast majority of men, you don't need to make 6 figures if she likes you. You don't have to be 6 foot tall if she really likes you. Just go on a date with a Mexican if you're 5'3". They don't care about that shit. Just joking. Halfway. You don't have to be a shooting guard for the Lakers. You don't need to sleep with 50+ women to understand the type of woman that's good for you. You for damn sure don't need a vasectomy. And how alpha you are does not matter, because your girlfriend can still roll bounce out of your life with a construction worker if you're a shit human being. Thanks for watching.
What'd you think of the video?
I thought it was well done, well said, and it hit the point.
Yeah, I like some of his points. I think he was a little too conclusive, and he didn't give that many examples of red pill movement falling off. It's just falling off the mainstream. And I think as a culture, we always ready to call something off just so we can kind of generate some movement and some engagement and all that. And I rather us be more vigilant and paying attention to more things that are happening, versus as soon as something's on a downtrend, it's dead.
To the point we made earlier, as long as men are not getting laid, as long as men don't get pussy, it will be men that hate women. That's just not going anywhere. So until we can fix that, and I don't know how we fix that unless we legalize prostitution. Yeah, so.
No, I got you. All right. Thank you everybody for watching. We'll see you guys next time.